I've heard people say that they want to end their life because of the debts they have. On the day that my separation happened, I turned to the bottle. I get the whole thing of like, I'm already so much in debt. How can I afford to have a financial coach to help me out? Planning now and buying later is the method that I teach people. You are the one who can make the decisions for you, and you're the one who can actually get yourself out of the hole you're in. The government will keep promising and promising and promising and never deliver. The best person that can help you is you. And the best person that can get you to that path would be someone like a financial coach.
Hi, and welcome to the Keyconceptspodcast. Today, we are talking about money, but more importantly, behavior, mindset, and transformation. My special guest today is David Wangberg, and David is the founder of the Wangberg Financial Coaching. He helps people and individuals break free from debt, build clarity around their finances, as well as create sustainable habits that actually last. David, thank you so much for joining us today on this episode. I'm excited.
Thank you for having me. This is awesome. I'm excited.
Yeah, I appreciate it. David, for someone who's never actually heard of financial coaching, like what is that in your own words?
Yeah, so financial coaching is essentially just getting a better understanding of where your money is going. A lot of us will make money that is $100,000, $80,000, doesn't matter how much it is, but we don't know how to really spend it that well. And a lot of us don't know how to budget. A lot of us don't know how to save. And so with financial coaching, I teach people how to create a budget. I teach people how to pay off debt, and I teach them how to build wealth for their future.
How long have you been doing financial coaching, and did you have to go to any school for it?
So I've been doing it since May of 2025. I'm still fairly new in the game, and I didn't really have to go to school for it, but I did find a program online through Ramsey Solutions, Dave Ramsey's company based in Nashville, Tennessee. And I took the course. It took about maybe 2 months to complete.
You offer budget planning, wealth building, and debt elimination. So can you kind of explain the differences between the three?
Budget planning is essentially just, where is my money going? Is it going to it's got to go to the mortgage, it's got to go to utilities, it's got to go to food, it's got to go to car and auto insurance and gas. And then where is it going after that? And then you kind of see, do I need to get rid of this loan, which you should be getting rid of the loan, but do I maybe need to downsize in house? Is my house too big? Do I need to X, Y, Z? So that's where the budget is. And then the wealth building is more of just, so again, I don't do any kind of financial advising, but I can tell you things that do better over time. And then I can give you that option of like, here is a good recommendation to invest into, but an advisor can give you a better option as well. And then also just debt elimination is essentially going after each and every single debt that you have.
Let's just say someone does sign up for one of your financial advisor coaching sessions. Like what would that first session look like?
So the first session would just be a consultation that's free. And that would just be you and me talking, and we'll just kind of go over your situation and then look and see like, what are you looking to achieve with working with me? What are you looking to accomplish? And, people will have goals of just getting out of debt. A lot of them just say, get out of debt, but I want to go deeper than that. What does getting out of debt look like? Does it look like more trips to Hawaii? Does it look like building a better future that you can give to your kids? Does it look like, maybe getting a house for the first time? Some people still live in apartments and they want to buy a house and they don't know where to start.
What area of the finances do you try to target first to kind of start uncovering the problems?
So I just want to see how they spend. I want to see what it is that they're doing. And again, your spending plan is based on what you want to do. I am going to be in there to see like, okay, are you maybe spending too much on Christmas? I know we just had Christmas, and Christmas is one of the busiest times of the year when it comes to spending. And we just had Thanksgiving prior to that. And again, Thanksgiving is another busy time because we're getting all the food. And so I look and see, are you maybe spending too much on this category, or maybe spending too much on this category? And are there ways for you to cut back?
Do you see any like common trends or spending habits?
A lot of the trends I see is just people just go out and spend, and they just go and like, their eating habits are a restaurant every day, or even fast food every day. I've had one person say, I get coffee on the way to work and it's only $2 because I spend it on the app. I get a discount on the app, and that is cheap. But if you're $30,000 in debt, $40,000 in debt, and you're only making $20 an hour, then is that $2 really worth it every single day? You spend $2 a day, 5 days a week. That's $10 right there. And then add that up to, $40 a month. That $40 could go somewhere else instead. And $40 may not seem like a lot, but it could be a debt payoff right there, where it's like, if you have a $50 vet bill that you haven't paid in months, and you can take that and just pay it towards that.
What financial habits do you help people build?
Learning to live on less than you make, and being in better control, and being able to set goals for themselves too. And I know people will set their goals of like, oh, I just want to get out of debt. I just want to pay this off. And those are great goals to have, but it has to go a little bit deeper of what those look like.
How many people would you say is living paycheck to paycheck?
I think we're probably in the 75 to 80% range right now. It's a lot of people, maybe a little bit lower than that. I've heard between 60 to 80%, and that's a pretty big range. But I mean, it's happening to everybody. It's happening to individuals. It's happening to families. It's happening to people that are going through situations like divorce or anything, separation, and it happens to everybody. It even happens to people that are considered quote unquote rich. They may have a situation where something happens and they don't have a plan in place.
Do you ever see them like start off good and then regress and then go back to bad spending habits?
It can happen because they're in that fight or flight mode, and sometimes that might be a situation where I need the money now to get a new home or to get this, and so I need to take out this loan to get this, or take out this mortgage to get this, and so the life situations can still stress you out, and a lot of us are depending on like, I need a government to help me out. I need a bank to help me out. And really the person that can help you out the most is you.
I bet you people that are watching are thinking like, man, I'm already in debt. How am I going to afford a financial advisor?
You can look at and see like, okay, the rates may be a little too high. I don't know if I can afford this, but what can I cut out of my life now to afford being able to work with a coach and to afford being able to make a plan that is going to be better for me and my family? And I get it, like coaching can be really expensive, whether it's financial coaching, relationship coaching, but you have to look at the benefits in the long run. You have to look at the benefits of like where I am now and where do I want to be, and am I good at doing this on my own, or can I work with someone, have them help me get there quicker?
But you have $300 in your bank account. So like, what were you going through? I mean, that's got to be intense.
I was thinking about a lot. I was thinking about like, I'm a failure. I don't know if I can ever be successful in anything. And it's very heavy. There's a lot of emotions that go through you when you are going through a situation like what I went through. And I'm sure anyone that's listening to this is probably going through a similar situation too. And I understand where they're coming from. I understand like everything that you're going through. It's hard. It's not something that is easy to overcome. And it's good for me to share because I still feel that pain where I was 10 years ago. It's not fun. It's not something that I want on anyone. And it's not something that I ever want to experience again. And thankfully, I am at a point where I hopefully won't be experiencing it again, but I'm blessed to help others that are in the same situation that I was in many years ago.
What motivated you to keep going during that time?
What kept me going was just knowing that I can inspire people to get to the level that they want to be at. Not exactly in my level, they can be at a level that's maybe even better than I am. And so that's what kept me going. That's what still keeps me going. And, with my wife and I, we are able to just cash flow everything that we have. We don't use any kind of loans. We don't use any kind of credit cards, because that was the thing that really messed up everything financially for me, was just rely on the credit cards, rely on the loans, rely on this, just getting the money now so I can afford this, or as opposed to saving up for it so then I can afford it later. Planning now and buying later is the method that I teach people.
You got any tips and tricks to kind of push those voices out of your head?
So I still have that from time to time, but I just share it with people, and I just have people that are super supportive of what I'm doing, not clients, but actually people that are like in my men's group. And you have to have that reassurance of knowing that you are on the right path when it comes to paying off debt or, upskilling or doing anything that you want that'll be beneficial for your life. I can't say that it'll be easy. You'll still have that internal chatter. And with me last year, I accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. And it's something that, I thought about for a long time, but also just having that higher power, that someone that's higher than I am, walk with you the entire time and being able to guide you in the path that you want to go, and telling you like, this is the good route to go. This is not the good route to go. having someone there to be by your side every single minute is super beneficial for me as well.
What was that situation that made you turn to that higher power to kind of help you through some of this?
Yeah, a lot of it had to do with trauma, and a lot of it had to do with just going through a situation, losing my grandma, and then finding someone that had lost their wife at the same time as me losing my grandma, and just like us connecting on that. It's a pretty hard story to tell, to be honest, but all the guys in my men's group, they have like 80 guys around us just praying for us. That's what made me submit to the higher power. And I know for a lot of people, I'm not saying that with financial coaching, you're going to submit to a higher power because of this, but it may turn you to that too. It may lead you to submitting yourself to a higher power and saying like, even though I don't have control of this, God does.
What was the biggest challenge you faced when you were rebuilding your finances?
Just knowing what I need to do in order to save. And that was, for me personally, just, I had to go and rent a room in a place for $500 a month. That included rent and utilities. So that was a blessing right there. I had to not go out as much, not eat out as much. I used to be a pretty big drinker as well. And on the day that my separation happened, I turned to the bottle, and then I found a place where the person was not really someone who said no to alcohol, but then decided to give it a try and say, I'm going to do a dry house. And I saw that ad on Craigslist, and I said, that's going to be me. That's where I'm going to go. And since then, like, I haven't entirely given up alcohol, but I've learned to reduce the consumption.
You're now trying to be debt free,
Uh-huh.
but now you're also making the situation to take on more debt. So why that debt, and what was that debt?
So it's a funny story because when my wife and I met, I had this old car it seemed like every single month there was something wrong with it. And even though it was paid off, it was still having to get all these mechanical changes, all these issues had to be done. And it got to a point where the timing belt on it had snapped, and it was going to be a repair. And emotionally, I was so upset and frustrated. And I just went, you know what? I'm getting rid of this car. I don't care anymore. Let me just get a new car. And so I had to shop around. And it was during the time of the chip crisis where like the new cars and the used cars were about the same price. There may not be that much of a difference now, depending on where you shop. But I was like, okay, this is the car I want, and let's just get it. And so it was, again, that impulse that even though I had already been out of debt and I didn't want to go back into debt, I was just like, I need this, I need this, I need this.
What is that snowball calculator, and how does it work?
It's essentially giving you the option to look and see how much paychecks you get and then put those in there. And then how much debt do you have? And then you can see how much do I have left over after each month if I just pay the minimum payments on everything. And I recommend paying extra on the smallest amount, not the interest rate. Like, I know there are people that will do the debt avalanche, where it's the highest interest rate, but the smallest balance is one that when you pay that off and pay that off really quick, then that gives you the motivation to go after the next one and go after the next one.
What are those apps, and do you have examples of how they work and what kind of cashback do they give?
I do, yeah. So the ones that I use currently, I use Fetch Rewards, and Fetch is essentially where you can snap a receipt for any place that you shop. You can shop at grocery stores, you can shop at kind of department stores, and then you can actually snap the receipt, and it'll give you some coins towards gift cards of like Walmart or Amazon or whatever place it is. And then you're still using the cash that you have as opposed to borrowing from the bank and then paying it back later.
What tips do you have for people that are spending a lot during the holidays and need to kind of budget?
I mean, you can have Halloween parties, you can have Thanksgiving parties, you can have Christmas parties, but also just reach out and say, hey, we're going to do it like a potluck style. Can you contribute? So that way you're not doing it all yourself, because not only are you spending so much money on it, but also you're spending a lot of energy on it too. And that's going to leave you drained in more ways than one. When it comes to Christmas and getting gifts for people, I would recommend getting them the gifts that they want. Like if they put a list out and say, hey, I want this, I want this, I want this. And that's great. But then also get it to where it's maybe not that exact brand, but something to where it is like a similar version of it.
David, is there any other topics around financial coaching that we haven't covered that you kind of want to dive into?
One thing I will say, and this might be a little controversial, is don't rely on the government to get yourself out of debt. You are the one that will be able to get yourself out of debt. There's been a lot of things that have come up recently, especially in this current administration, where it's like, I promised the 50-year mortgage, or I promised to cut the credit card interest rates down to 10%. And those all sound great. Well, 50-year mortgage is not a good idea, but the 10% credit card interest rates, that's good. Like I said, I just get rid of credit cards altogether. They're not really worth your time or worth your investment. But at the same time, you are the one who can make the decisions for you, and you are the one who can actually get yourself out of the hole you're in. The government will keep promising and promising and promising and never deliver.
If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice when you're first starting out financial coaching, what would that be?
Just do it. And it's pretty straightforward. Like I've always been kind of fearful of starting financial coaching because of the fact that I am usually pretty introvert. I like to be by myself. I like to just have a certain amount of people around me. But then when I wanted to coach people and, get myself out there, the big thing for me is like, I have to put myself out there. And that includes getting all these social media accounts that I don't really use or never even use in the first place, and actually using them as opposed to just having the account open. And so it's still something that I'm working on, but that would be something where I just need to put myself out there more and just be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that includes, getting out there and getting exposed to, or getting exposure on all the different platforms.
David, where can people find your financial coaching services? What are your websites, your handles? Where can people check out more of your content?
Yeah, so my website is wangbergfinancialcoaching.com. Wangberg is how you spell my last name, and then financialcoaching.com. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, Threads, all at Finance Coach DW, and all my accounts are public, so you can actually see what I'm posting. And yeah, you can give me a follow there. You can contact me on either of those platforms or even message me on my website. Yeah, so, and you also email me at david@wangbergfinancialcoaching.com.
Awesome. We'll make sure we get into all of the description, and we'll put it on the video version of the podcast, and we'll get it out there. So if people want to check out more, they can get in touch with you. So David, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, this was fun. I had a great time. Thank you.
Thank you, myself as well. If you're listening right now and thinking, I've made too many mistakes, I waited too long, and I'm just bad with money, this episode shows that is definitely not true. Financial freedom isn't about being perfect. It's about awareness and intention and having a plan, even when things feel messy. So thanks for watching this episode of the Key Concepts Podcast, and we'll catch you on the next one.
All right. Thank you.